Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Oh, I feel like it's been a long time.
It has. We've gotten busy.
We've gotten busy.
Stop putting this on the calendar. That was the problem.
Well, and summer and things and all that. And before I go any further, I have to say hello to Teresa, who is a listener from the beginning, who's always listening and made a point of telling me how much she enjoys this little podcast. So, hello to Teresa in Maryland.
Is she the only one?
She's the only one.
And that's it.
No, but she was purposely the one that reached out, and so I'm
Cool.
calling her out because it was very sweet. We had a great conversation. She's like, I wait and I listen, and there's no new ones, and where are they? So here you are, Teresa. I hope it lives up to the expectation.
Yeah, and this one's gonna be different because this one's we're not using Riverside this time.
Right.
Uh we don't have enough sponsors, so we're on Zoom and we have 40 minutes, but that started like 10 minutes ago because we couldn't figure out audio visual issues. So we got 30 minutes.
That's fine. It might be better for people. It might be better.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump in because our topic today is about pets. We're going to talk about
Yes.
pets,
Yes.
which was something that was a great topic that you brought forward. And I was cleaning the house today, realizing how happy I was I did not have one.
Yeah, I had one scratching my carpet.
Oh, yeah. Pets are great until they kind of like aren't.
Yeah. It has been I hate to say nice, but it has been nice not to have to worry about where the dog goes when you're going somewhere or have so many things to do, but it's also a little lonely.
Yeah. Well, she was your best buddy for a really long time. Patrick is talking about his um, dog Maddie, who he had for a very long time, who he had since the beginning of
And
his.
this is not creepy, but I have a little statue of her.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little statue.
It is
Maddie,
it's creepy.
no, it isn't. Maddie was a black lab who was beautiful, who was my first grandchild. Um, Patrick had her for a long time, and Maddie was that perfect dog. She was sweet, kind, loved to play, loved you unconditionally. Yeah, she was all that. She was all
Yeah, it was nice to have an SPCA pet too. Nobody wanted her,
nobody wanted her because she was a little black puppy.
which is crazy.
It is.
But we had a good time.
You did, and I still remember the phone call that you called me when you got her, and I had no idea that you were going to the SPCA to even look for a puppy. And you called me and you said, "Mom, you have a grandchild," and I was like, "What?" And you said, "Yeah, she's 3 months old." And I said, "What?" And I said, "What's her name?" And you said, "Maddie." And I said, "I cannot wait to meet Maddie. I can't wait. I love her already." And you got real quiet and then you just said, "Mom, it's a dog."
Yeah, you should have asked more questions.
I know. But you gave me credit. You immediately said, but you said you get props because your answer was very supportive and very just like, this is
I don't know
awesome.
what that says about me that you thought I was just out there having kids. So what was your first pet?
My first pet was his name was Joey. Joey was a mutt. He was mostly collie. And we
Holly, that's the
actually,
long hair. That's a lassie.
yes, but he was like a lassie mixed with something.
Okay.
We ended up rescuing him because, of course, we lived in the city and our neighbor's house caught fire. This was their dog, and their house caught fire, burned to the ground. Firemen rescued this dog out of their basement, and the family was then taken by the Red Cross to find a temporary housing. And they said, "Look, we're not taking the dog." And so the fireman came up to my dad and said, "Would you take this dog?" And my father didn't even think twice. He said, "Absolutely, we're taking the dog." And from that moment on, Joey was just Joey was he was that dog. And again, I think it happens with rescue dogs. They are such good dogs because they're so grateful to have a home. He never misbehaved. The only thing he didn't like, and we didn't know this at the time, my brother-in-law was a firefighter, and Joey had, the dog, had PTSD with the smell of smoke. So anytime Bob would come into the house coming from the firehouse and smelled like smoke, Joey would just cower in the corner and growl. He was terrified. But at first we thought it was Bob, but then we figured out it was because he smoked like smoke.
How old are you?
I was a teenager. No, 13, 12 or 13.
Did
Yeah.
anybody ever get any fish?
Uh, not growing up. My parents would have never let a fish in the house. They would have been like, "Are you kidding me? It smells." No, we saved that for you guys. Connor had,
So you guys were very traditional with your pets.
correct. Yeah. Stray
Dog,
cat. Yeah.
dog was forced on you.
Right. Stray cats would show up. Squirrels would show up.
Wait, didn't you guys have a cat, or was that a real, not your
No,
cat?
that wasn't our cat.
Oh,
He would just show up. My father would feed him. My
so you
father
never actually went and got a pet.
never.
They were all just kind of brought to you or otherwise showed up.
Correct. We were fortunate enough to have just be able to afford food for all of us. So the idea of adding another mouth to feed on purpose was like, why? No. Yeah, no. And in hindsight, when I think about it, like my sister Jackie, they never had any pets. My brother Rick had a dog. My brother Joe, nothing. My sister Mary had a cat. David, nothing. Michael had a dog for a little while and then nothing now. It's very interesting. Some people just always have to have them, and other people just don't. I think we're the just don't.
Yeah. I needed Maddie because I just needed somebody to in my life, but she was the only dog I ever had. And now I don't know. Elizabeth had some cats. They ran away. Well, I made
Wow.
dog doors and I was trying to let them out, and then they just never came back. Uh, her sister stole one of our cats when it was like yay big.
Yes.
One died when it was the same size, and now we've got one cat. So
And cats are easy. I
I
know.
don't know. I
Yeah.
we have a very interesting relationship. I hated him for the longest time. All he would do is murder things, bring them in the house alive, birds flying around, pooping, feathers, bunnies howling like the worst squeal you've ever heard because it was being ate in the house. Biting the children, scratching the kids, scratching me. Now, like every now and again, it's like he's on something and he'll go nuts. But normally he's pretty calm. And now I let him out like a dog in the morning. Let him out when I go to the gym. He does his business. I go to the gym. I come back. He's waiting to go inside. I let him back inside. It's very interesting. I don't know if he thinks he's a dog. He's gotten a
Well,
lot calmer. So now I tolerate him and I like him when he's nice. But
this is also the cat that learned how to go to the toilet out of
yeah,
the
so
toilet.
weird.
It's just
So weird. Every now and again, he's just in the bathroom. You see him sitting on the toilet. Like, what?
if he ever reads a paper, I want to see.
I'm thoroughly confused because then he'll use a litter box. If we go out of town, I'll put two out. He'll only use one and never use the toilet. But if we're here and he's got a clean litter box, he uses the toilet or the like. I don't know that he's that smart. He just kind of walks around and he's like, "Oh, I think I'll go here." And
Well,
then the next day,
he's a show off.
something,
I'm going to show them what I can do.
something. Yeah.
Oh God.
It's always fun when you guys are going to come to town because then I got to go around and vacuum everything 400 times because I don't want the cat to aggravate dad.
Dad's allergies. And speaking of which, we did have a cat, as you well know. We got the cat after you went to college. Um, Connor and Megan always wanted a dog, and I knew that couldn't happen because we were never home enough. And I was working with a lady who told me that a cat just showed up at her barn and proceeded to have 12 cats,
Oh,
12 kittens. Yeah, that's a lot. And she said, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these kittens. If you want one, come on over. So dad went golfing one Saturday morning, and I took Megan and Connor over to her barn. The minute Connor sat down, this little calico cat just kept jumping on him and jumping on him and jumping on him. And I was like, that's it. We have to take this one home. So we put it in the back seat. We were driving to the pet store to buy a little cage, a carrier, all the things. Dad called in the back seat. All he heard was meowing. And of course, he said, what in the hell is that? And I said, nothing, nothing. Can't hear you. And I hung up the phone. Brought the cat home. Dad came home, and I forgot to say it was also his birthday.
Oh god.
So we had this teeny tiny cat that was maybe 6 weeks old. And he basically was like, this cat, I'm allergic to cats. You can't have the cat. And I was like, well, we're too late. Like, we love the cat. I'll keep it in the laundry room. And within a week, dad turned from this guy who didn't want a cat to picking up this teeny tiny little kitty cat, cradling it in his arms and saying, do you want to go outside, little kitty? Do you want to go outside? And he would snuggle with it and take it outside. I'm like, what is going
He
on?
was trying to set it free.
Maybe, but I don't think so. He became very attached to that cat. Very attached.
A
But
lot of passwords ask you what your first pet's name was, so I'm not gonna say it, but I'll call him Hatteras.
yes,
He was a hermit crab
correct.
who we got in the Outer Banks,
Yep.
and that hermit crab, I feel like you replaced him.
I did not. I did not.
I don't even I remember his little case. I forget what I fed him. It was like little dried fish food or
It was
something.
dried fish food. You each had one. I think somebody had one named Buxton. You all got them at the same time. And sadly, they came with those stupid little helmets that they could climb in and out of, these like ridiculous plastic helmets. But once a week, I was a really good hermit crab mom, and I would clean the little glass container, or plastic container. So I would take the hermit crab out, let him swim around in the sink while I cleaned all the things. Yours, one day I did that, and one of his claws just like whoop, fell off. And I thought, oh my gosh, I just totally killed this hermit crab.
Yeah.
But I put him back in the thing. You came home from school, and I told you, and it was the next day, and you were like, Mom, I think he's fine. Like, he had started to grow this teeny tiny little, and within a week, he had a brand new limb. I have never heard of that in my entire life. But
Yeah,
it
and
was
I
a thing.
remember he was in the sink when I was cleaning it another time, and like two or three came off, and I thought he was a goner. And I just, to this day, I haven't even looked it up. Maybe I'm remembering things wrong, but
I think
maybe
they
they
can.
grow legs. So
I
if you
think they
know,
can.
you're a hermit crab expert, write in. Let us know.
Tell
You're,
somebody, tell
yeah.
us. Yeah, it was fascinating to me. But yeah, you guys had hermit crabs.
I would put him on the floor and like just lay
Yes.
on the floor and watch him crawl, and then he'd pinch me, and then it was what a sad, lonely kid that must have looked like. Just laying on the floor, talking to a shell, watching it move like a snail.
But I don't think that's sad. I think that's it's kind of
Well,
cool.
I didn't mind. Thought it was fine, but now just think about it and tell somebody like, "What did you do when you were little?" Well, I had a hermit crab, and just picture this: I laid on the floor for like an hour and watched him move around my carpet.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Well, I
Better
might have
than
put like things down, like cars
you
and
did. You would like set up like a little village for him to like wander around in. It was very sweet. Super sweet. It's better than a turtle. Turtles I just think stink.
I always wanted a turtle, never got a turtle. I don't know that I really wanted one. I just like the idea of one.
Yeah.
Fish are the worst. They are so cool, but bless anybody who can keep a fish tank clean and keep the fish alive. Like Tommy does it, and I don't know how he does it.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a
I
lot.
would when the kids wanted fish, and I went out and bought $300 aquariums and all the things that go with it. I think I drove to the fish store once a week because whenever I changed the water, either for lack of patience or understanding or just because the fish sucked, I had some dead fish I had to go replace. And I mean, well, I should say the fish usually started out at like a PetSmart, and that's where we got them. And then I
Yeah,
found a guy who bought an old gas station out in the country who has turned it into a fish store. Maybe that was the
it might
problem.
have been your supplier. I'm just saying, it might have been. Now
It was interesting.
Connor had 11 fish.
Jeez.
Um,
At once?
no, he had me. I think the most he ever had at once was four, three or four. But he had there was hematoma Freddy, there was regular Freddy.
I didn't even
Um,
remember that.
there he had a lot of fish named Freddy. He liked that name, but hematoma Freddy was the one that fascinated me. He had a giant growth on the side of his face, and that was one of the reasons Connor thought he was cool and wanted him. But once a week, I mean, he just had a bowl, and once a week I would take those fish, put them in a separate bowl, clean out the bowl, put the fish back in. Um, yeah, they're fascinating, but at the same token, it's like, oh, please. The worst though was we went on vacation once and we asked a friend to babysit. At that point, he only had one fish, and the fish passed while we were gone. And the mom felt so terrible that she didn't want to just flush it. So she froze it and she saved it for Connor for when he got home so he could bury it.
Excellent.
I said, why did you do that? She said, I know. Everybody thought it was crazy. But she said, I couldn't just flush it. She said he needed to be able to do it. So out
That's
came back.
gross.
It is
Could you
disgusting.
imagine keeping a kid's pet fish in your freezer for a week to give
No,
it back to him? It's not
no,
like it was a tropical exotic
no.
fish. It was a
It was like a dollar fish at that
yeah.
point. $2. That's
Yeah.
it. But she's
So
it's very funny. Hey, what,
it's so interesting. I was listening to I think I was listening to Nate Bargatze the other day. I don't know if it's in his new special or it's in somebody else's or maybe it was Dusty. I can't remember. But they were talking about how difference in pets and how it's so funny how things have changed. Oh, it was Nate's book, his new book. And it is funny to think about when you grew up, there was probably a lot of stray animals. People had pets, but they were just like tied up in the yard or they lived in the yard. No pets lived in houses. Maybe cat. They weren't kind of hybrid. They didn't go in and out. You didn't have pet doors.
right? Oh God, no.
A leash was a piece of rope or a chain.
Hmm.
And then we moved into like the 90s and people started bringing in more pets inside. People still didn't really like, you would take your pet on a walk, maybe, but they just pooped wherever. You weren't really
Right,
worried about it.
right.
And then the 2000s and 2010s came along, and all of a sudden, pets are family. They live inside, they get expensive food.
They
If
sleep
you're
on your
caught
bed,
dead without a poop bag,
right?
I mean, whew, people are going to say something to you.
Yes, they will. That's
And
exactly right.
and now they're on airplanes
Yeah,
and
they're support animals.
in every store, and you're like, why is this thing in the grocery store where I'm trying to pick food?
Yeah, it's very different. It is extremely different. Now, Joey, our dog Joey, again, back in the day, he went in and out for sure. But if he even thought about getting on the couch, like I remember the look my father would give this dog, like he could read his brain. And he'd said, no, you don't even think about getting on that couch. Like, and now, yeah, people share beds with them or they have special beds for them in their bedroom. It's a lot. People have cameras that they, if they work all day in a different space, just so they can watch to make sure their dog is okay.
Yeah.
It's very different.
Yeah, it's cool. I think it's
Yeah,
cool. It's nice to have. I mean, I had a best friend dog for a long time, and
absolutely.
I would do those things with her. But it's just so funny to think about and go, well, what changed? And just think about how ugly dogs used to be. Now every dog's like a hybrid of this and a doodle of that, and this one's got no allergies, and like
Right. No one uses the word mutt anymore.
There's no,
There are no mutts.
it's a mixed breed or
That's
whatever.
right. That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah,
They do, you do end up looking at them a little bit differently. I
yeah.
remember when Megan got a dog, I was thrilled because she was living in the city at the time. And I was so thankful because she got a dog, Lucy, that just looked like she would rip you apart. She was that kind of dog. But the minute you walked up to her, she would just like lay down and show you her belly and be like, "Good, you just scratch me one time." she, she wanted to be mean, but she wasn't. She wasn't. My funniest thing that I can remember is before we had a dog, and obviously growing up in the inner city, my dad went to a store called JM Fields, which was, I don't even know if there's anything like a Kmart, bought the biggest dog collar he could find, the biggest dog collar, bought the biggest piece of chain he could find, set it out in the backyard with a huge dog bowl, huge. And I remember my mother saying, "What are you thinking?" There were a lot of break-ins going on, and he's like, "If they see anybody sees that, they're going to assume the dog we have inside this house is a giant." And he would go out like a couple times a day, like move the chain around, so anybody looking wouldn't be like, "Oh, that chain's been laying there in the same spot." Oh yeah, no, biggest dog collar. And I remember thinking, people think we are the weirdest family.
I must get my sense of security from him. I
We
do
never
crap
had a
like
break
that.
in. We didn't have a break in when we had that chain. Insane. It's insane when I think about that. But to this day, I remember the size of that collar. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's crazy the amount of influence pets have now too. Like even 2015 or so, I forget, somewhere around there. And I got a new car, and I got the car based on, was it good to put the dog in?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
then I had to pick an apartment that was good for the dog, that had spaces for the dog. They very much change what you do and where you go.
Well, and again, like you said, she was an extension of who you were. She was your baby. She was your best buddy.
Yeah.
Therefore, yeah, you would do anything for her.
Yeah. Now the cat, I won't. We'll
Mm.
just leave town. I don't even hire somebody to come watch it. Put out a lot of food, some water.
Poor Kitsy.
He's
Poor
fine.
Kitsy. Kitsy is just like, he is who he is. He doesn't apologize, but that's what I love about cats. Cats have this like, I really like, I don't need you. That's kind of there.
I wouldn't mind outside cats just to live around here, kill snakes, keep my yard rodent free.
Right.
They also kill so many things.
I
I
know.
got a nice rabbit that has made it a whole week outside. I saw him again this morning, and I thought, all right, this guy must be either really good at hiding, really fast, or he's too big for the cat. And I don't think he's too big because the
Um,
cat will,
he's
I don't
good at
know, maybe they got in a fight, but normally I can't have rabbits anymore because I'll find one in the house.
oh,
Uh, but yeah, but between that and the amount of birds that these guys kill. So for people listening, since my cat's a serial killer, I bought him a collar with giant bells on it. And they are annoying, but they are loud. So when he walks, he makes a lot of noise intentionally.
yep.
Every now and again, he still brings something to me, but I wouldn't mind an outside animal. I don't like this
it,
back and forth thing. Like
it
either
is
be
it is
inside or be outside.
it is difficult. It's difficult only because of the chances that he's going to bring something in. And I've been there when he's brought things in, and even I don't know what to do with it. It's just
And I mean, dogs do it too. Maddie never really, she never really did that. She would kill moles in the yard. She'd dig up moles, but she would usually just dig it up and then leave it there. Like it never
right,
came to me.
right.
Uh, but she was an odd lab. She wasn't like a duck hunting lab. Um, but I don't know.
I also think there are also cats out there, and maybe dogs who are terrified to go outside, like afraid of what's out there because they just have no familiarity with it. Kitsy, I feel, was born on the outside, right? Like she was a stray when she showed up at your house. I feel like she'd been living in the streets for a while. She got her street smarts. So I feel like to her, it's more like, yeah, I kind of don't need these people, but I'll show up and they'll feed me nice and then I'll take off again. And he's making me wear these bells.
He's
The other cats when he shows up to the party are like, are you kidding me, dude?
yeah. What's a weird? Did anybody have a lizard or anything? A snake? Nobody had a snake.
No.
Elizabeth had a snake. It was from
Oh,
the garden.
no. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nope.
she'll tell you. I forget his name.
No. That's not okay.
I'll remember it when we hang up. I had it earlier when we started. She had a little garden snake. I
Why?
think it lived for like a week or two, maybe a little longer.
Now, your cousin Nathan had salamanders when he was like 7 or 8 years old. I remember they went away on vacation, and dad and I were just married and had to babysit them. Uh, let's put it this way. I stood on the other side of the kitchen while we'd go to their house and he would feed them or clean out the thing. I wasn't getting near them. No.
Salamanders. That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Birds. I forgot about birds. A lot of people have birds.
Yeah. Our
They are
neighbors used to have
messy.
birds. Yes, they're messy, but they're also really very cool. Except when like we had neighbors who have since moved who had birds. And I remember she called one day and one had gotten out and literally was up in a tree outside.
Oh man.
But
Yeah, a bird's a hard one to like. You got to keep that thing contained.
yeah, yeah. Or clip a wing.
I
Like
guess a
you think
salamander would be the same. You'd lose it in 5 seconds in the house.
well, exactly. Where'd he go?
A fish can't go anywhere,
No, he's gonna flop. He'll just flop.
and you can
And
usually see a dog or a cat.
and a snake, no, that's not ever no. Mm-mm. I don't see it. And my dad, when he was growing up, his mother had Great Danes. I have a picture of my grandmother sitting with one of the Great Danes.
You don't see big dogs anymore. Well, I don't see big dogs anymore.
Occasionally, but when you see them, it's like first thing I think of is how much does it cost you to feed
Feed that
that
thing. Yeah.
beast? Because that's 3 times what a kid would eat. Like that's what I think of when I see those size dogs.
Protein shakes and hamburgers. The dog.
Maybe, maybe.
I don't know.
And then dad, I was asking him. So he had 3 dogs growing up.
Like farm dogs, right?
They were inside dogs.
Oh,
They were inside dogs. He had Ginger, who was black. She was like he said she was like a black dog, but
that's racist.
long hair. It's not racist. And then he had Lady, who's a collie, and then he had Duchess. She was a collie.
Three lady dogs.
And Duchess was the one that snapped at you.
Yeah.
You were a baby. You were a little guy wandering around.
She can get in line. Ladies like to do that to me.
I never saw Duchess again, though. I think Grandma Doris took care of her real quick.
Oof, that makes me feel bad.
Well, no, I just think like whenever we visited, Duchess was ousted to the basement or outside because she was getting old. And I'm sure she was looking at you toddling around like, what is that?
Yeah. I was probably throwing rocks.
No,
I
you
probably
weren't.
smelled like food.
No, you smelled like poop because you were just a baby.
Thanks, Ma. Not something I hear from ladies a lot.
You were just a toddler, so I'm pretty sure it would. You smelled like peanut butter and poop. That was probably the extent of the smells.
Nice.
No,
That was it. So you had 3 dogs.
yeah, yeah.
And then we as a family never really had anything until I was gone and you guys got that and got Callie.
Cat. Yeah. As one of your older roommates used to call her the devil cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now compared to Kitsy though, I mean, Callie was not the devil cat.
No. All she would do is hiss. She would hiss when people would walk in that she didn't know.
Yeah.
And then she'd go find another space.
I haven't heard our cat hiss at all.
That's impressive. That's actually impressive.
He also thinks he's a dog, I guess. So who knows?
That's right. It's true.
And a person.
And a person.
Being in the toilet.
I still remember I had an aunt who had my Aunt Jeanette, she had a cat named Snoopers. And Aunt Jeanette lived in a beautiful home, and we were out in the sticks. And as a family, we were invited to her house a couple times a year. But we were always told ahead of time when we got there, the cat's in the living room, so you can't go in the living room. It's off limits.
What?
Yeah. So if the cat was in a certain room, you couldn't go in because
Why?
she didn't want the cat to be upset.
Well, she was ahead of her time.
Oh, well, my dad, what do you think my dad, Mr. Instigator, would do? He would go on the hunt for snoopers. And he would, whoever a small child, he'd bring us along. Come on, we're going to go find the cat. And he would find the cat and corner the cat and then start hissing at the cat. And yeah, he was just like that. My father had more entertainment out of that. Here, my mother would be having a lovely visit with my aunt in another room, and my dad and my brother and I would be trying to find the cat, corner it, and hiss at it.
Awesome.
Traumatized. Traumatized the poor cat. Too funny. Gotta love these little pets, though. And a lot of people will have pets forever, you know?
Yeah. We might get another dog someday. I just think it's wild now to see them on airplanes. Chickens. They started to make rules, thankfully, because like I think a farm animal, you can call it a pet, but we're talking about like house pets.
Yeah.
House pets, dogs and cats. There's a million of them out there. Do we need to add to it? I guess we do. I don't know.
But I don't get it. I don't understand how a chicken could be like a support animal.
It gives you eggs.
Well, now I'm just thinking of, and I'm gonna, what shows I watch. He feeds you, but I'm thinking of Paw Patrol, and the mayor has a little chicken named Chickaletta.
There you go. You're right.
It's her best buddy. And she carries it in her purse, and she's happy with it. I've never seen it give her an egg, so I don't think that happens. Yeah, I don't know, but I agree with you. I can do cats. I can do dogs. There are some people that are all about tortoises. There are friends, people we know that have, pigs. Love to have a pig. George Clooney for years had a big old potbelly pig that lived in his house with him. It was his best friend.
You say that like we knew him.
Yeah, well,
Our neighbor George, he had a pig. Remember?
Did you ever babysit him? No.
No. Oh, what was I was just gonna say something, and I forgot. Have you seen that guy Chit on social media? Elizabeth, what checks it out, and she shows it to me all the time.
No.
What's his saying? You go, girl. You got it, girl. He goes, yeah. Okay, well, look it up after, and it'll make sense. Otherwise, this is just me acting like a weirdo.
Yeah. Okay. I'll look for Chit.
Don't spell it S-H-I-T.
No, I wrote it down. C-H-I-T. Chit.
Yeah. Elizabeth, what's the Chit thing? Do it, lady. Do it, lady.
Do it, lady.
Do it, lady. Look it up. Do it, lady.
I will. I just wrote it down.
Yeah.
I will find it.
Yeah. You'll find it.
What does it have relation to with pets?
Nothing at all. I wanted to say, I was trying to say something, and then I popped into my head. It's been an interesting day.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's like dad out of the blue going, I don't think I'd like a caramel milkshake.
Yeah.
What?
Zoom just told me we have 1 minute left.
All right, we can wrap it up. Thanks everybody for listening. I hope you had a good time listening to us chit chat about pets. And if you have, enjoy it. Chit chat.
Yeah.
Hope you have the best day, and give a squeeze to your little pet if you have one.
Yeah. Let us know if you got a weird pet, even if you don't think it's weird, and we will think it's weird. Tell us what it is.
Or don't, because that could be who knows.
Well, thanks for watching another episode with Mom and I, Unfiltered. And we'll catch you next time.
See ya.
Do it, lady.
Do it.